Hi guys, I hope you're well today. I am very excited today because I'm doing something that I don't get to do every day. I'm going for a drive with a professional racing driver, Sean Hudspeth, and he's coming by any minute now picking me up in a Ferrari, and we're gonna go for a drive. I'm gonna ask him some questions about him and his career, what it's like to do what he does, and I get to go really, really fast.
Hey!
Hi, how are you doing? What is this?
It's gorgeous. It's a Ferrari 458 Spider. Absolutely beautiful. Very lucky to have it today. So yeah, I hope you're excited.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get going.
Sean, you're setting the standard pretty high for how I feel I deserve to be picked up.
I hope that's a good thing.
I normally associate a Ferrari with red. I like when it comes in a different color as well.
So this is a TDF blue, so
TDF
which
blue,
stands for Tour de France
nice.
blue. So Ferrari have like really fancy names for their colors.
Yeah. You know when you said that you were coming in a blue Ferrari, I saw like a couple of Comfort Delgros. I was like, it's that. I'm like, wait, no, it's not that. What car are we in?
So this is the Ferrari 458 Spider. So it's a folding hardtop, so I can actually automatically put the roof down, which we will do later. But yeah, this was the last naturally aspirated Ferrari V8 engine. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So basically with no turbochargers. Purists like this car a lot because it was the last Ferrari that was basically really loud. But
I heard in
sounds
Singapore that
amazing.
you can't have it be too loud. I don't know what the exact rule is.
There are noise restrictions, so
Yeah.
basically what this car has is that it has butterfly style exhaust. So when you're not driving fast, the valves are closed and the exhaust is nice and quiet like now. But when you start to drive fast, the exhaust opens
Then it
up.
will start being loud. What kinds of cars do you race?
So I'm in GT racing with Ferrari and I race with them professionally.
What is GT racing then?
So GT stands for Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Basically cars like this, the car that we're sitting in right now. I've actually driven the racing version of this car.
So there is a racing version of the car. You're not driving a Ferrari like this that you could just drive on the road.
No,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely not. The car's very, very different. It's built to last for 24-hour races, driven flat out.
Is that how long the races are?
So GT races can last between 1 hour to 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, but 24 hours, obviously, we'll divide the driving time, so we'll have like 3 drivers per car.
What's the longest race you've done?
I've done a 24-hour race in Belgium, actually. Out of the 24 hours, I drove 12 hours. I did 4 3-hour stints. We didn't actually have a drink in the car at the time, so I was very, very
so
tired.
thirsty.
You know, with a brand like Ferrari, there's just so much history. Like, have you seen Ford versus Ferrari? That movie was about the 24 hours of Le Mans, and Ferrari have 9 overall victories and 35 class wins at Le Mans, so I'm hoping to make it 36.
Is that one of your future goals, to do that?
Yes, for sure. So I'm
Okay.
hoping to do a big European championship this year. If I can win like European Le Mans, for example, that will sort of be my ticket into the 24 hours of Le Mans. So
We both grew up in Singapore,
yeah.
and so I didn't realize there was a scene for it here. So can you tell me how you even got started in motorsports?
My inspiration for racing first came from my granddad, and he was a hobby amateur racer. That sort of rubbed off on me when I was a little kid, and I grew up watching racing rather than football or basketball or whatever. Eventually, my friends took me go-karting when I was 11 or 12, and I loved it so much I kept going back. One of the mechanics told me that I had potential and I should enter in some races.
And around how old are you?
I was 12 when I first started.
Okay.
I finished on the podium 3 or 4 times in my first year, even though my kart was like slower and older than the KF2 engines that the other drivers were using. As a result, I was scouted by the owner of a Formula BMW team, and I was given a scholarship program. So I did the scholarship program, and obviously the scholarship covered me for Asia, but I really wanted to move to Europe because I knew that if I wanted to take my career to the next level, I had to go where it was most competitive, and the scholarship wouldn't cover me for Europe. So I found a way through endurance prototype racing. That's how it was, and I had 4 or 5 podium finishes in 1 year in 2015, and including the 24 hours of Zolder, which is the 24-hour race that I was telling you about, which
And
is
this is all in
really
Europe?
tough. Yeah, I slept a total of like 2.5 hours over the whole 24 hours, and
Can
then
you
you
drive
really have no
straight
time.
after having like 2 hours sleep for a day?
Yeah, it's pure adrenaline. As soon as the race is finished, you just have the adrenaline dump. I would imagine it's the same, you know, if like you're telling me you've been skydiving or...
It's just like with anything, like a marathon, a race, climbing a mountain. Shut up! I'm vlogging! It's pretty much a dream job. By the end of it, you just have that exhaustion.
Exactly. So it's the same thing after a race. And then in 2015, I was coaching a driver, and there was a race at Imola which he couldn't attend last minute, and so I took the seat for him. I ended up qualifying first and winning the race.
Wow, so it was completely accidental that you got into it.
Karting, did NS, went into Formula racing in Europe, and then university, and then GT racing.
And then...
I did my first race with Ferrari around August 2018. There was a client driver racing in the Ferrari Challenge who had basically paid for the whole season and decided not to do the last 3 races. So the seat was available and I got the seat. I finished second in the Pro Class. That sort of got me a seat with AF Corsa, which is the official Ferrari GT racing team, in 2019 to do the Italian GT Championship, which I won. Then I became the first Singaporean to win a European car championship, and then I won again in 2020. So sprint championship in 2019, endurance championship in 2020, and yeah.
Is it in here?
No, don't! That's mine! Award closet.
You have said that you took the seats of people who paid to race. So if you have to pay to be in a race, then how does a racing driver make money?
To get into the sport, you have to pay to get in. But once you sort of become professional and the team recognizes your ability and your talents, then you start getting paid by the team, like myself. Even in Formula One, some people are still paying. With some of them, it's like they would have to race until they're 50 years old to make up the money that they paid, that they spent to get into Formula One. So that's why I knew that
Fair change.
I don't do this job for the money. I don't race for the money. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I do it for legacy. I do it to win. It's my passion, and like I would even do this for free.
And I hate to interject this lovely moment, but we just got overtaken by that ghastly blue BMW over there. What are you going to do about that, Sean? Are you going to sit here and let them overtake us?
Yeah.
What blue did you say this was?
This is Tour de France blue.
Tour de France blue.
I have no idea what blue that is.
What that is hurts my eyes blue. Tour de France blue has to overtake that.
Yeah, he was trying to prove a point.
I think he felt threatened by us. How do you train? Because obviously I've seen you in the gym and I just don't know where the two match up.
That's probably the #1 question that I get asked. It's extremely physical. Sometimes during the summer, the car can reach temperatures of 65 degrees and you're wearing 2 layers of fireproof clothing. And
I'm sorry to interject, but I heard that
you probably heard something.
F1 drivers at the Singapore night race can lose 3 kg in their own sweat.
Yeah, so I actually lose 5 kg after like a 3-hour stint. Yeah, 4 to 5 kg, because basically it's a lot hotter in the car for us than in F1. We're in a closed cockpit car, so we're not getting a lot of ventilation. And there is a small air conditioning unit in the car, but we can't use it because it saps power from the engine. Okay, here's the really interesting thing. So the seat is molded to my body. You have to like sit in the bag and then you make a seat molded to your body, so you're nice and snug. At the start of the stint, like it's a nice snug fit, but by the end, I'm moving around because I've lost so much weight. It doesn't fit me anymore.
Wow. Yeah. This is just water weight. I can't go and fill up on pizzas and burgers afterwards, right?
I'm not sure it works that way.
What's harder about racing, the mental aspect or the physical aspect?
I mean, I'd say both. Mental concentration also burns calories. Even just from mental focus, you can sweat because you're burning calories, your heart rate is higher. But being physically fit helps with the mental focus. So I do a lot of cardio and I do strength and conditioning. So I have to train my neck.
So you need to train your neck because of the G-force, right?
Going through a high-speed corner, it's like having a 20 kg dumbbell resting on the side of your head.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy.
That's basically what it feels like.
Excellent.
You have to have a dense neck.
My head essentially rests on my shoulders. I'd be an excellent driver because there wouldn't be the weak link.
You know what? With this neck, we're probably gonna need a bigger hammer.
Send me your CV. I'll send it to Ferrari.
Oh, I can't drive.
You can join my. Oh, you don't have a driver's license?
I don't.
Explain yourself.
Some people were born to drive. Others are born to be driven. I just didn't have a reason to because I grew up here and unlike you, was not inspired to race. Public transport links are so good, it's such a small country.
Yeah, to be honest, you don't really need a driving license in Singapore or London, any big city.
Who needs a driver's license when you got friends like these?
Ah, right. Now I see where this is going.
That's what today is all about, really. What is this button that says launch? Because I really want to press it.
Yeah, that fires missiles.
It says launch. It's a button in a car that says launch. I mean, how can I not? Do you know what it does?
So basically you press launch, you change it to first gear, you put your left foot on the brake, and you put your right foot flat on the throttle, and then you release the brake. And what that does is that the onboard computer calculates the amount of grip that the tires have and gives you the perfect amount of power for the perfect launch. So it's the ultimate launch.
So just to wrap up then, it'd be nice to talk about what your goals are in the future and where you're going with this.
Race professionally as long as I can before I get too old, obviously. I want to be the first Singaporean to win the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Were there times that you doubted whether this was the right career path for you?
Yeah, 100%. This year in the summer, I broke my ankle. So I had surgery. 18 days after surgery, I was back in the gym. 4 to 5 weeks after, I was back in the racing car. At the race in Mugello, I went from P42 to P12 in 8 laps.
Wow.
With a broken ankle.
Comeback kid.
And the video is actually on my YouTube channel. I'll show you later. But
yeah, plug. I got to see that.
Now I'm pretty much fully recovered. I went for a run the other day, my first one since August, and it felt amazing. And actually East Coast Podiatry, my main sponsors here in Singapore, helped with the rehab and helped with the treatment, and the treatment is absolutely incredible. Like, they showed me the ultrasounds, and like the tissue is growing back, and the holes in my bone from where the screws were starting to close up, and I'm just blown away. So.
What would you say to anyone who wants to do what you do?
I think starting in karting is very important, because what karting does is that it allows you to drive at a young age, because you don't need a driving license. Start training those reflexes and the hand-eye coordination. I think karting is basically the first step to becoming a professional racing driver. Getting to F1 is very, very difficult because you need to have a lot of funding behind you, but getting into GT racing is definitely possible if you're good.
Okay, I think that's a very nice place to wrap up. Thanks for chatting with me today.
No, pleasure.
Hopefully
Thanks for
we can go fast later.
Yeah.
I love going fast. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so...
Hopefully you still feel the same way after today.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. I could just do this all day. This is... Hi guys, thanks so much for watching to the end of this video, and thank you, Sean, for speaking with me today. Do you have anything to add?
Guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I do car reviews, including one of this car, so if you want to know more about the car, make sure to check out the channel. And yeah, see you soon.